I think, obviously being able to go back home to Ohio and playing my home state is definitely a blessing because I was able to obviously have more family members there, more friends there. And obviously they have a great environment, great program, great team, great players, and great coaches. So when that opportunity comes, I'll be looking forward to it just for the opportunity to go back home and play them because obviously they're a great team, and obviously they accomplished whatever your team in America wants to accomplish last year. So, when that opportunity comes, I'll be excited for it. But for me, it's always about going 1-0, never overlooking the opponents because again, like we played Nevada week 1. So when we get through that part of training camp where we're shifting our focus to the season, I'll put all my focus on Nevada.
Drew, as a starting quarterback, I'm sure you've had to deal with your share of trolls and stuff online. How often do you hear from people who say directly, like, you cost me money? Because they're betting on your stats, or they're betting on the.
Actually, a lot. It's probably more like honestly, like that was the one thing that has always caught me off guard. I didn't expect that part as a starting quarterback in college. Because I'll go back home and people will be like, oh yeah, I got like 1,000 on you to win a Heisman. I'm like, okay, like why do I need to know that? Like I don't necessarily need to know that, but that side of things can kind of bring out some ugly interactions. I've definitely had some things that I'm like questioning, like I don't know how like people do that to you. Like I've had people request money from me and all that sort of stuff, phone number leaks. So, and it's not just me. Like it'll affect like my family, my girlfriend, all my friends. Like they'll go after them, which is kind of the weird part. Like it's maybe doesn't make it to me, but they'll kind of go after people that are around me. So that it's definitely weird having those interactions. But I try to handle it as best as I can and as gracefully as I can.
You've had people request money because they lost a bet?
Yeah, just they'll find my demo or something.
Do you feel any more pressure knowing that there's people out there actually wagering? It's not just like the happiness of whether you win the game. It's like they're putting actual money on your performance.
Not to be cruel, I don't care. That's their choice to make those decisions, whether they put money on us or not. So that's on. It's kind of on them. It's weird to kind of say that, but like it's definitely just weird with those sorts of things, just because sometimes there's like no good way to handle it, and it becomes really awkward. So again, just trying to handle those things as gracefully as I can, and really just trying to limit all those distractions as I can. Like I'll be off social media during the season, so trying to at least limit the amount of distractions that I can have throughout the year.
Drew, you look at Ohio State, new quarterback, Michigan, new quarterback, Oregon, new quarterback, 3-year starter. Do you guys sense the opportunity that you have going into the Big Ten this season?
I think for us, our goal is always to be in the Big Ten title and obviously win it. Obviously, we came close to that last year, didn't accomplish it. And for us, I think it's always about reflecting internally on what we can do well and what we need to be better at. So, again, going into fall camp, it's going to be all about us and finding what we're good at, what our weaknesses are, and attacking those things to make them into strengths. So we can be the most well-rounded team in the country and also be the most diverse team in the country in terms of personnel we can throw out on the field, the different types of players we have out on the field at any given time, and just trying to become the most well-rounded team as we possibly can throughout the 4 weeks of camp or whatever.
With the way that the Notre Dame game ended and the pick in the field goal, any extra feel for you in the offseason? Did you go back and watch that play? How has that play affected you?
I've definitely watched that play like a handful of times. I don't know the number, but for me, again, like the mistakes that I made in that game, the thing that was frustrating but also good at the same time was like all the mistakes that I did make were very correctable and easily correctable. It's just about being intentional with those things, and for me, like just being conscious of those things. Maybe I didn't know throughout the season that I was doing some certain stuff, so now when I was in the off season, like hammering those things down. So when those moments in games do come, like the bad habits or stuff like that don't show up in the most critical moment where it does cost us in that sort of way.
Ohio, you were having conversations with your schools trying to figure out whether you were going to stay or go. Did you want feedback from the NFL? Did you get any, or was that not really part of your decision?
No, that was definitely part of the decision making for me. And Coach Franklin did a phenomenal job for me, and all the resources at Penn State of gathering the information for me and all my agents as well. They did a great job of giving me as much information as they could in that short time span and allowing me to make the most informed decision for myself on what I thought was best for me. So, I definitely wanted that feedback just because when I think you're going into that decision, at least for me, like I want to be as informed as possible, no matter if it's like good or bad. Like I want to know where I stand in that that sort of sense. So that was definitely a big help for me. And I think for me, it came down to like, I know how much better I want to be as a player and leave my mark on Penn State and obviously accomplish the things that we came close to last year, but came up short in. So having another go at that and just playing that football. I mean, I don't know how true all that stuff was. It's just kind of like none of that stuff was really reported to me. From what I understand, like it was kind of like a wide range. I had a pretty wide range of like being a top end guy or like maybe being like a big round guy. So for me, again, it was kind of like too scattered, I guess, to kind of pull that trigger. And again, like I have a lot of things I want to accomplish here as a team and individually that I feel like I wanted one more go at.
Drew, 3 really tough losses last year. All of them that were really close.
Yeah.
Really close, maybe a mistake or two here or there. You talked about the Notre Dame game, but Oregon and Ohio State game. What were 1 or 2 things that you took from those games that you're going to use moving forward?
Yeah, I think the Oregon game specifically, I played well in for the most part, but there was 2 costly mistakes. Obviously, the first interception, we were down, 21-10 at that point. I threw an interception, which was basically a pick 6 since they got on one. It was one play, like half that dive or whatever. So now we're down 28-10. But the thing I took from that game is the way we battled back. Like we came back and rattled off 2 scores. But again, like if I don't have those 2 costly interceptions, maybe it's a different outcome for us because we were having a pretty good game offensively from that standpoint. I was playing pretty well besides like maybe like 5 or 6 plays, and then the Ohio State game again, it's like just 1 or 2 different plays. Obviously, they had a great goal line stand. They made a lot of plays when they needed to make plays. So credit to them. They have again like a really good ball club, really good coaching staff. So they're going to make plays, but it's about just finding 1 or 2 more plays to make throughout that game that can maybe change that outcome. So again, like all these games that we're talking about come down to like a handful of plays. Obviously, they're going to be really tight games just because of the talent on both sides of the field. So again, those are the opportunities that I wanted to come to Penn State to play in those types of games, and looking forward to just again kind of just having one more go at it in my senior year.
Last year, Ohio State had a lot of guys who made the same decision you did to come back for their senior year and try to chase the championship. You and your teammates made the decision to come back. Do you guys draw inspiration from that?
I mean, it's kind of hard to say, but I think for us, like, again, it kind of relates back to my message earlier. Like, for us, like, I know for me, I wanted to accomplish a lot more as a team and individually. I could say the same for all the guys that made that decision to come back. So I think for us, it was about reflecting on each person's journey because obviously everybody had a different decision to make. Everybody's decision wasn't like mine or that sort of thing. So making those decisions and then we step back foot and lash for our first lift of the winter, like just realizing, all right, now it's like we're here, like we didn't just come back to come back. We came back for a reason, and we need to push everybody around us to be the best they possibly can. And I think we've done a really good job of that. We have a lot of great leaders on both sides of the ball, a lot of experience. So I'm really looking forward to just again playing football and competing against us when fall camp comes in.
How do you think that experience makes you guys a better team going into this year?
I mean, just like you said, it's experience. The more you're in those moments, the more you know what it feels like on both outcomes, good and bad. So just knowing, like when those moments do come, like, all right, like now resetting your mind to focus on the present, not thinking about the outcome or anything, like just focusing on the process and everything to hopefully come out with different outcomes in those opportunities.
Drew, what can you say about the 3 new receivers that transferred?
Yeah. I mean, they've been great for our room. I think the one thing about all of them is they came in and put their head down and worked. They were not coming in entitled to anything. They earned everybody's respect from the player standpoint on the offensive side of the ball and defensive side of the ball and the coaching staff. Those guys will put their head down and work, and they're unselfish in that sort of thing, in that sort of way. So I'm really excited to, again, just play football again because I think we really got rolling towards the back half of spring ball, and I'm really excited to go into fall camp to really just, again, I know I keep saying it, but play football.
How would you describe those 3 receivers?
I think they're all very different in themselves. Like I think Kyron's like your bigger receiver who's going to make those contested catches, but again, like he's not just a big receiver that's going to make contested catches. He can win on routes. He's fast. He's fast enough to win on deep balls and that sort of thing. Devontae's been really good. He's a really twitchy guy. Like he'll make some guys miss in space. And I'm really excited for him. And then obviously having Trevor now come in, obviously a little bit later than the other two, but he's done a great job of putting himself in that room and earning the trust of everybody in that room. Because again, that's a really good room right now, and I'm really excited to see how they produce this fall.
Drew, what are the conversations like with Wheatley when you guys are lifting?
Yeah, they're really good conversations. Honestly, we'll talk a lot about a lot of different things. Honestly, like whether it's like offensive football, defensive football, what he sees, young guys in the program that we think are going to be really good players for us, and also just kind of just talking about football in general, like how I see the game, how he sees the game, picking his brain about like how he tries to disguise on defense and that sort of thing, and just giving him any tips that I have, like maybe tells that I have from him, or things that help me gather information pre-snap, and him doing the same for me. So I think again, like the one thing that's cool about our program is obviously we compete in everything we do, but we also want to see each other succeed. So I think that's just the culture we have at Penn State. So we're always going to, obviously when it's time to play football, and compete against each other and try to win every drill that we can, but then after the fact, put that aside and like just be honest with each other and just say what we saw.
You guys are far record lifting on the bench. In a lot of ways, does that seem like it's the focal point of this team's leadership? The two of you, kind of the brain trust, being able to kind of steer the offense, defense, what you guys can do this year?
Yeah, I think it's not just me and him. We have a really good collective group of leaderships on both sides of the ball. Obviously with kind of him and me obviously I'm the quarterback of the offense, but like he's the quarterback of the defense in a sense. So just talking to him about like how like to get calls and that sort of thing, but also like for us setting the tone from the get-go of the workout. Like we're always in there early, one of the first ones in the lift, stretching, doing extra stuff after the lift is done. So I think setting the tone about how we approach each day and just how we carry ourselves on and off the field, I think is really good for young guys to see. And I think it's been a huge benefit because again, he's had really good vets throughout his time here, and I've had really good vets since I've been here too. So just kind of trying to pass on our knowledge that we've learned either for ourselves or others to the young guys in our league.
Drew, I see the cross around your neck. How important is faith?
Yeah, it's really important to me. I think for me, I've grown in it every year that I've grew up in a Catholic home, but I've grown in it more independently, I would say, since I got to college. And it's definitely important to me because, again, like I've been blessed with a lot of opportunities in my life to, maybe not that a lot of normal college students don't get to experience. So I don't want to take those moments for granted. And for me, it's about taking advantage of the blessings I've been blessed with, and then also, making a positive impact, whether that's on one kid or like a handful of kids, trying to be a positive impact in whatever community, whether it's back home in Medina or at State College. Just trying to, again, show kind of like myself away from the field, if that makes sense, because kind of everybody sees football players as just football players, but obviously it's very important to us and part of our identity, but there's a lot more in life than just football, and I think for me, my faith and religion is very important to me. Yeah, it's really fun going against him in practice, obviously, because again, he's one of the best defensive coordinators in the country, and now to be going against him every day in practice, and no matter how challenging his scheme is, obviously we have a lot of talented players on that side of the ball, so that already makes it pretty hard. But going against his scheme has been really fun throughout spring ball, and just kind of getting to know him a little bit more about his scheme and like how he's kind of evolved to call his defense and that sort of thing. Just kind of trying to look at it from a different perspective and not just always on the offensive side of the ball, but how maybe defensive coaches adjust to the game and why they adjust.
Thanks, Drew. We got it. We got it. Go, guys.